Welcome back, everybody, here to your coverage of our wonderful cup called Sina Cup. It's not our cup, it's someone else's cup. Yeah. We decided to come in here and cast it.
We're just borrowing it.
Yeah, for our evil purposes, aka commentary.
World domination.
Yep. Stage 1, Sina Cup.
Domination of the Dota 2 scene.
5 seconds remaining.
The year of Join Dota has just begun!
I forgot this was meant to be the year of Join Dota.
Right? You started that as a thing.
It was a thing.
It's been a pretty successful year of Join Dota.
Yeah, considering the last 2 years, yes. Everything can be very, very successful compared to what we achieved in like the year and a half before that point. Because we achieved nothing. To put it simply. Actually, no, we had a lot of fun. Just didn't move forward that much. We kept doing things we enjoyed. We never really.
So when I get here, you're all business, work hard, no play. But when I wasn't here, it was all like we had fun. Is that what you're saying, Toby?
Maybe.
Great. At least you guys are getting your money's worth out of me.
We're paying way too much. Way too much. should worry about his rent from week to week.
No, I just worry about my rent month to month. That's all.
Alright, let's look at our game. Okay. Because we're already underway. And we'll see if Fly Gaming will take a different approach with their draft this time around. Well, they started off with a good start. It's a core support. Unless they're going to run him as a mid-solo. We will have a Skywrath mage coming in for that lineup. Well, Vici Gaming, they have, well, a lot of options. Again, they're going to go the Faceless Void. They also get themselves a Viper in this game. A very resistant hero to the wills and the powers of the Skywrath mage. And also a very powerful laner. But the only thing which I would flag straight away is Razor is available. But they go for a Brewmaster instead.
Radiant team ban.
I'm surprised they didn't go the Razor.
Yeah, considering he's a great pickup against the Viper.
He's great pickup versus the Faceless Void, too. I mean, if you can get off the Static Link on the Faceless Void before he Chronospheres, you just take away all of his damage. He's a very resilient hero. I mean, the most important thing about going up against the Faceless Void is oftentimes drafting very tanky heroes. Heroes that won't be taken out by the Faceless Void solo inside of a Chronosphere. And that's why you see, like, a lot of these tankier supports being picked up. So you have like Aban has come into the fold as being picked up here and there. We have heroes like the Jakiro, who obviously is being picked up for his pushes, but not even just necessarily his pushes, but his early fighting capabilities and being so tanky. Even though he may not provide the most amount of burst damage in the world, he is exceptionally tanky. He doesn't have to worry about him dropping right away. Naga Siren as a support, that's seeing a comeback because she's incredibly tanky as well and is able to provide a really good disengage to the Faceless Void ultimate as well.
5 seconds remaining.
So, I like the fact that, well, I actually don't like the fact at all. We're going to have the Invoker, but the Tuskar is going to be banned away by LAI Gaming. Why would you ban away that hero? It's so much fun.
See, I'm more angry about the Invoker. I love watching an Invoker. Oh!
Radiant
no, they won't. They won't. They can't. They do. They could. They possibly. Maybe. Possibly. Could. Possibly. Maybe.
Toby's having a heart attack and a stroke
at
the same time. Brain is not.
I have hit that age where it is possible. Age is a big conversation around. Happy birthday to Zoe, by the way.
Happy birthday, Zoe.
Yeah, it's her birthday. She's
go send her some tweets. She will respond to you if you tweet at her. This is your one time to get a guaranteed response from Zoe.
Really? Is she doing that today?
She said she would respond to every single birthday wish she got on Twitter.
That's...
It's right.
Every single person in this chat right now. We have 9,516 people watching this game right now. Tweet at Zoe. Some wonderful person is going to put it over in the chat right now. Her Twitter. It's Zombie.
Yes, like zombie.
SOEMBIE is what it is. So everybody, go tweet at Zoe. There it is.
There we go.
There we go.
I'll post it a few times from time to time. Wonderful. Go tweet at her and get that guaranteed response from Zoe. That'll make you feel all funny.
Express your love. Express your love. Yes!
We know how many.
Is
that really what you're like? Could they maybe?
Yes.
Possibly?
Yes.
I thought that's what you were going to say.
Was it not obvious?
But I was
it should have been obvious, Cap.
I was like, really? Are they really going to go for that? That sounds so so greedy.
It's so good though in this lineup because you needed a secondary silence to go up against the Brewmaster. Careful of his jump in, but if you can keep him at bay, you can keep the silence there. You got to face this Void Corona to get yourself out of trouble anyway. You're good to go, man. You're good to go. The Drow Visage combo will be there. The only thing which is now lacking is a secondary support that allows him to push, and I would ban that Enigma if I was super right now, because it is going to be in the jungle, and then it's just turn Drow Aura on. And you win! It's just that good, man.
I like how you wave your hands in the air, like when you're like, oh, you just have to worry about the Brewmaster. Like, yeah, the Brewmaster can't potentially destroy Vici Gaming with this lineup. I mean, it's just a squishy Drow Ranger that you have every incentive to blink on and use your ultimate and chase her down. I don't know. This is greedy from Vici Gaming. I'm sure they'll still be able to pull it off just because. Good lord.
Well, it's been a while since we've done that. Are you hitting your thing?
Maybe I pulled on it.
Can you put it back in again? Because you're still spiking. Yeah.
Radiant team back.
Okay, wonderful.
It's very sensitive.
We move. Stop gripping the desk, Cap.
I wasn't gripping the desk. I think I just shifted and I ended up pulling the cord a little bit. And it's just like.
We moved from our wireless microphones because we kept having that problem with connections, and that's why we have these full-on solid builds of our current microphones. Oh, sorry to people's ears. It's Cap's fault. I'll break your ears at another point. Just like my four-man Ice Black Hole earlier today with the Frost Nova. I mean, with a Frost. Yeah, Frost Blast, Chain Frost. That's it.
I was like, Frost Nova, what?
Isn't that what it used to be called for Lich's Frost Blast? It used to be called Frost Nova, but that's a Warcraft 3 thing. No, the Frost Nova was Crystal Maidens.
Yes. Yes.
Gotta rack the Warcraft 3 memory.
Anyway.
10 seconds.
So Vici Gaming, I'm sure Vici Gaming will still be able to pull off this lineup. I mean, seeing their performance in Game 1, I don't think they're going to have any issues against LAI Gaming. I do think the draft is a little bit greedy here. They're running two different. I mean, if they start out with the push at the right time, it's just LAI Gaming. I think they've left themselves exposed with that Furion pickup. I think you need an early fighter. You needed a hero that doesn't necessarily rely on a Blink Dagger. You need something aggressive, something fighty that is able to jump into this Drown Ranger. You can't just the worst thing you could do with the Vici Gaming lineup here with the Drown Ranger Visage is let them take those early towers. Because once you start letting them take towers, they start snowballing against you, and even once you finally do pick up your Blink Dagger on the Brewmaster and you go, okay, we're ready to fight now, well, Vici Gaming are 5,000 gold ahead of you, and you're still going to get destroyed in the team fight.
And they're going to have all the items they're searching for on their heroes. Like, you're going to have your mechs up and running, you're going to have your Aghanims or whatever damage on the Faceless Void. You'll have Visage walking around with his Aghanim Scepter. Probably the most important item, which you're going to flag on the lineup of Vici Gaming right now, is the Blink Dagger on the Lion. For a support if they can get it. Because he's going to be really instrumental to make sure that Brewmaster is controlled. That's the reason why he is the last selection. And a Weaver pickup. I'm really not sure about this, Cap. And the primary reason why I'm not sure about this is because I don't think the Weaver is going to come online in time. And it's a Weaver against the Faceless Void as the second point. At least they're running two supports. Like, that's... We've moved on from Game 1.
Are you sure, Toby?
I'm fairly certain.
Maybe they're running
a core Skywrath Mage. I doubt it when he's buying up a courier. They could be running a core Jakiro, but...
Maybe they're running an aggro try with the Furion. And a mid Brewmaster and a safe lane Weaver.
Super
Honestly, with that whole thing that they do, I see what you're talking about. It's just... It was so weird. I was just like...
See, I was sitting there earlier today wondering if it was just me. Like, you know, like you do those kind of things, especially myself. Like, you don't do it as much because you actually understand the game a lot better than I do. But I sat there going, what the fuck?
You get those moments where you go like, I don't really understand it. They're the professional players, though, so I must not just, like...
You must just not get it. Like, there has to be a deeper meaning. Like this is faith right now. Like, I found a shoe on the side of the road, and someone seems to understand that this means that there is a party going on, like, on the other side of town. And they understand that, but for some reason, I don't know about the party, and I've only just glanced at the shoe. Like, I don't know.
I feel like you just almost have to sit there and meditate. before you look back at the draft and then all becomes clear.
Yeah. But you do that, like you take like 5-10 seconds. It's like no, still don't understand what they're trying to do right now.
My brain is not figuring this one out, so I'm just gonna move on and discuss the play-by-play. Talk about the other team. That's always easier.
I'm just gonna say thank you to Black for not wearing the cat ears. I'm fine for the blade from the the Shadow Cat blade.
Where's the Mask of Madness though?
It was like no, that thing. I felt really guilty about it because I held my tongue when I was at the Valve offices during TI, and I saw the masker there, and one of the Valve guys said, "Yeah, man, this thing is really awesome," and inside my heart, I just died. I just want to say, yo, man, that's not awesome. You have defiled my woman.
It's awesome.
Is all I wanted to say. And he was like, he just
what's wrong, Toby? You don't like a little crack with your Drow Ranger?
Phrasing. Phrasing.
Drow Ranger's just like,
it's like that
it's
effect.
not crack cocaine, mask.
Cupcake. And into the game we go.
Toby and I have been watching Archer between games.
Random reference to movie quotes.
Right.
Only one person got my house.
We are going to be running dual lanes though. Somehow LAI Gaming just managed to pull out just something weird.
It's actually it's a support prophet again. It's a support prophet with a core Jakiro on the offlane being played by XTT up against the Drow Ranger Visage combination, while you've got Fenrir doing pulling on the stacks, just the camps. Yeah. The offlane is ISIS's Void up against a Skywrath as well as a Brewmaster. So the Brewmaster actually doesn't even go to the middle lane, while in middle lane you get Weaver going up against a Viper. Now, I'm not seeing a big problem here for Viper at all. Viper is more than tanky enough to deal with the early harassment of a Weaver. The one thing which is actually quite nice is the current Treant block coming out from Super on FY. He's getting a little frustrated about this. Actually holding him there a very, very long time. And finally just grave chill onto one of the Treants so he's able to run away.
You know, I actually like this use of the Furion way better than the other renditions of it. So this one actually I feel like makes enough sense because I think that this dual lane can actually take on the tri-lane. And you're also dealing with some supports that aren't easily able to kill the Treants, so the harassment that they receive from those Treants is actually a bit more impactful than it was before. Like, you can already see the harassment that FY is taking, especially since he's a hero that starts out with no armor. So he's taking the full right-click damage of every single Treant, and when he can't actually come forward and harass, or else he's in danger of he's already kind of low from the Treants harassing him, then the Furion as well as the Jakiro turn on him as well, and he will die very quickly under the weight of all that physical damage. So he's actually going to be constantly forced away. So then at this point it becomes a CS war between XTT and the Furion versus Black's Drow Ranger. And, you know, 2 versus 1, even if Drow Ranger has that extra bit of damage, it should go the way of LAI Gaming. So this time around, I can see what they're pulling off.
I'm just going to say, though, it's a ticking clock. Fenrir is going to come up with a smoke coming in behind the lines, and they're going to initiate. Black comes in, and they're going to focus on the Jakiro. He's been the man that's been almost at the primary initiator, the primary farmer anyway, so they want to make sure he's dead. And then Super, look at that, Black, just with the slow. Yeah, the ticking time bomb wasn't actually this, it wasn't the smoke gank I was referring to. It's the fact that if Black hits level 6, you're forced out of the lane. Because the extra increase in the agility means that he can basically solo that dual lane. This is just the power of the Drow Ranger, it's the power of her ultimate. She gets such a huge boost that you need to be like level 9 to deal with her at level 6. At level 7, you're actually completely screwed because it's the 4-level Frost Arrow that will get to come up from Black. Now,
at the same time, the advantage of a dual lane versus a tri-lane is that you should be able to pick up your ultimates before she does hers, in which case you have a pretty big advantage. But unfortunately, the problem with this whole harassment of the Furion can't deal with direct fights like this. So when it comes down to it, like, he's lacking nukes, so he doesn't actually have that much team fight presence. Like, when he comes in later on, when he's running as an offlaner and teleports to the side lane, it's because he's the 4th man on the field. And that's just simple numbers game at that point. Like, no other hero can provide that, but there's a reason he doesn't have a nuke. He'd be OP otherwise. So when they actually get a full-on engagement, when Lion is able to wrap himself around and catch out these heroes, that's when it kind of turns sour for them. But otherwise, they can understand what they're trying to prove here. It's just the problem is they needed to be much more aware of the Lion and where his rotations were going to be coming from.
Regeneration.
And without that, now Lion's actually rotating all the way down the bottom lane. With his boost first, he's just to run himself in. The Courier, he's got movement speed, so even if he did manage to find it, he wouldn't get the kill. But the Observer was watching where it was moving, and this one, for some reason, range creep has gone AWOL around the tree line, then starts stacking through the rear. The smoke's been triggered and actually completely breaks already for the Skywrath Mage. His vision doesn't extend to Fenrir, and Fenrir's doesn't extend to him. So while Fenrir did just break the smoke, he didn't realize how he just broke the smoke. But the Skywrath Mage is going to move his way in towards the middle lane, chasing after Super.
Yeah, Super is actually pretty susceptible to the Weaver. Just because it's so much physical damage, so with the concussive shot and Weaver, especially if he's able to pick up a level 6 pretty early on, he could just dive into Super and still be able to fall back on that ultimate. So Super actually has to play pretty careful here in this mid lane matchup, as the Weaver is kind of actually a decent amount of kill power against a Viper. We're going to see him actually go for a bottle build on his Weaver, which is a little bit odd, but of course he does have better rune control than the Viper. So it still actually may prove to be really useful for him.
Watching this bottom lane, the two Observer Wars that are down here are just worked overtime. They're both getting close to timing out in the next minute or so. That Radiant Ward will go down, but just saved XTD's life. Lion's tried twice now to try to find the opening on this bottom lane up against XTD. He wanted to kill him off before he cracked level 6. But they're just having a real rough time in doing so. And Weaver, oh hello. He just walked directly underneath the Observer Ward of the Dire side. They know he's coming and FY is backing up. Shikuchiing up.
FY though, he may be squishy enough they can take him down.
He's going to try and TP. He's going to stay up high. Ice Spark's going to come in. They would have actually cancelled the TP, but now there's no other thing to cancel the TP, but they have enough damage. I suppose that's one way to cancel.
That's what I was talking about. Like, no armor, so Weaver, as soon as they get through that level 1 of his Gravekeeper's cloak,
Fenrir. They've used the seal. Support's coming in from the side. That's going to be the Viper actually making his way over here. Now, Brewmaster does have split available, and he might have to use it straight away. The Observer Ward scouted out this movement, but the Void, he's leaping in for the Skywrath Mage. A quick seal will not save him, and Fenrir just makes sure he stays in position with a stun.
Bit surprised there XTD didn't try and go for a clap ultimate.
He could be in a little bit... there's no chrono. I thought Einstein's Ice might have actually had his chrono up by now.
It just needs another creep. Maybe 2, because it's split 3 ways.
Yep, there it is.
that could actually catch XTD by complete surprise. And that is a huge kill if he can't get it.
He doesn't have mana for both the jump. He's trying to cut his way through with the Quelling Blade. He can throw the chrono from here, and then just cut through the last tree to get himself in.
Yeah.
But XTD's got to come back to the front lines again, and there it is. So, chrono, Lion's going to come in, and he just breaks his way through. So XTD, follow-up stun from Fenrir, and he'll never get the split off.
That's such a smart gank. That was really impressive by Ice.
Shout out to the couple 100 people that sent messages to Zoe over on Twitter. If you want to send more, spam it up inside the chat, everyone. It's a birthday. Wish you a happy birthday. And Black, this is what I'm talking about, man. And you can't TP out from this because you can't run away. And you can't TP because of the gust.
Yep.
It cancels your TP out. So unless you're bringing a TP scroll, you're not going to be escaping from that.
Yeah, and they need the Weaver here in this top lane. And oh, dear
he's
FY.
coming up with a DD rune.
Look
and
FY,
like
solid nukes.
Grave Chill. He's out of range of at least the dual breath. Now he got hit by a little bit of it. And Black just starts to TP. Out of range of the ice bar. The damage output just hit so hard from the Weaver. That's a big set of kills right there. That was a high-level draw ranger with a hand of Myas and 46 for 18.
And he still has half the double damage rune left, so they're going to take down this tier 1 tower really quickly too. So LAI Gaming just actually got themselves a huge win from that fight. That is so much of a gold change there. Shift between the two teams.
And LAI Gaming, that's like an early birthday present.
Which you could send one to Zoe, yeah. So
Like I said, on to Shiva. It's her birthday there every second day.
Happy birthday, Shiva.
Happy birthday, Shiva. Everyone sent messages to Shiva. Oh, the manipulation.
Toby wanted capitalist birthday, boys. You get a birthday. You get a birthday.
Oh, Fenrir. Sentry.
Oh,
He doesn't get the stun off, however. XD's moving too quickly, however. Shikuchi on cooldown for a little bit. They do Viper strike him.
And I like how he doesn't choose, like, I would say 90% of Weavers would actually try and use their time-lapse there, but he would end up going back down to the counter ward. He doesn't necessarily know if there's any extra supports there.
Ice needs help. The Prophet always bouncing around. It's a lot of damage. He just leaves himself away. The Ice Path comes just a fraction too late from XTT. But the Liquid Fire is going to allow LAI Gaming to push out the Tier 1 tower. Ice is still sitting here, but not enough mana for a Chrono unless he's going to intel. Actually, even when he intel switches, I don't think he had enough for a Chrono just then. So, except the fact that the tower is gone. There's still no combination kills coming off here from Vici Gaming. Like, it's just been farming up and your lanes get to a nice little point, but now you got Familiars now up and running for FY. Drow Ranger Aura Wedge is just begging to be used.
All right, well, XTD just showed that he has a Blink Dagger on the Brewmaster.
Courier, no! Not enough damage! And it's going to turn over to the tree line now. But that was the Familiars getting ready to attack. They've still got their drop downs available, but now also another double damage rune going into the Weaver.
And this bottle has proved to be super successful for the Weaver when he keeps on finding double damage runes like this and is just able to pop it at any point in time. He may choose and try and pop it here in order to take this Tier 1 tower. But I do have to say, this is a very... I like the way that he's running this Weaver. I've always felt that Weaver has this really big opening that is really easily exploited, but when you build him like this, you may not be able to get to your mid to late game power as fast as you would like to, but you have such a larger impact in these early game fights.
They're coming out to a battle, man. Already the Gust going to call from Black. He wants to TP himself out of this one, but he's a long way away from the rest of his team. Same as Super. He's getting locked up inside of a Sprout for the moment. He wants to join Ice. Gets a two-man crew in the Brewmaster. He gets the split off. That's a big failure right now for VG Gaming. They have to back up here and accept any kind of casualties they do suffer. FY is still trying to turn and fight, but you have a DD Weaver time-lapsing at any damage, which they did dish out. Super wants to TP out in time, and he will not make it. It's a double kill. The Familiar's almost got another one, but Ice looking for a time lock. He's going to need one if he wants to kill on Jakiro. Hasn't got one yet. Liquid Fire on him. And now he finally gets a little bit of help from the Familiar. But he'll still go down to this DD Weaver. It's a triple kill for the Weaver he had the entire time. And you'll get the Familiar pick off on top of that. Another minute until they can be respawned.
And the tower also went down, so a big swoop of gold there for the Weaver. 2,200 gold in the bank right now. 1,500 of it is reliable, too. So if he wants to, he can try to hold on to some of that just in case he gets picked off. But yeah, he's getting huge. And well, you remember what I said when you draft the you choose to run the Weaver like this, you get a lot more aggressive about the 15 or 25 minute mark, but you may not get to your mid game and mid to late game items as fast. Well, that's not happening here for XZ. When you've got 5 kills in the first 12 minutes of the game, something tells me you're actually going to farm faster this way than you would just sitting back and getting your Lincolns and AFK farming the whole entire time.
So you got to be careful about moments like this. Like, he's coming up, Blythe's going to go for the Gust, just trying to slow him down, dish out as much damage as he can, and that Gust is only level 1, however. So he'll be able to time-lapse out the damage which was thrown at him. In the later levels, that'll be a little bit more of a problem as the duration will be increased. The ability to have a 6-second silence out from a Drow Ranger, but would you then just build into a BKB? Don't care about a Lincoln Sphere. That's why it's straight BKB.
BKB, Lincoln's is not a great item choice here. You still have the Chronosphere that's going to lock you down. You have the combined single target of the Lion. He can Hex and Impale and still catch you out, despite the fact you have Lincoln. So
then again, if he Hexes first, yeah, the BKB wouldn't actually...
Yeah, but you know, at the same time, like, that can be applied to anything, right? If you have Lincolns, but he Chronospheres you, well, you're dead anyway, right? So I think BKB is just a stronger item, mainly because of, you're right, that silence coming out from the Drow.
Smoke's going to break. They jump over to Super. Super, well, Mystic Flare as well, so Steel's going to be there, but not enough damage to kill him off. And now Chrono. They've already got the kill on the Sky Wrath Mage, and the Brewmaster's going to follow directly after. And this is where VG Gaming can gain a lot of momentum. They're still going to worry about the Weaver. As these familiars need to drop. They're being killed off by the Weaver bugs. -6 armor is on the familiars right now. So they'll come up and then actually get rid of these damn things.
Radiant's bottom
I think
tower
XC just
is
needs
under
to farm
attack.
out the bottom lane. I don't know why nobody is teleporting there. Weaver's got the teleport, but it looks like Furion's going to be the one putting a stop to it. He just needs to farm up, I think. Like, he was plenty active early on. If he can actually just transition this 3,000 gold he's got into a very early Desolator or something, or maybe just a fast BKB. Either way, I don't really care. Just
Radiant's
damage or
bottom
defense,
tower
one
is
way or
under
another.
attack.
Just finish up that item before he tries to continue to fight, because if he fights too much and ends up starting losing some of the unreliable gold he's holding on to, that big advantage he gained for his team by being a part of all these early fights is kind of gone.
A little bit of an unconventional item coming up over on this Stro Ranger. But feels she needs it in order to get herself away from the Brewmaster.
Yes. Blink Dagger, I think, is so good on Drow Rangers, snipers. Completely agree with this one.
Especially Drow Ranger, who loses her advantage if someone's in close.
Yep.
So she needs to keep the distance. And up against a hero like a Weaver is a little bit more difficult to keep your distance, but at the same time, up against a Brewmaster, he jumps in, then tries to go for the clap. The animation timing may just be enough for Drow Ranger to get just double tap and get some space. Has Eternal Envy actually built a Blink Dagger over on Drow Ranger? I know he does it on the Clinks for positioning.
Yeah, he has.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
It's been a while since I've got to watch his Drow Ranger. Most of the time, it's been a little bit more standard as far as builds go.
Yeah.
And the memory goes when you get closer to 30.
I hear Zoe's experiencing that.
Yeah.
Go give her a happy birthday.
Send her another tweet. Just say 30 isn't that bad.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
35 now. Now that's a horrendous one. No. A lot of Treants coming to push in this middle lane. And you're seeing just how far back Ice is also standing. Does not want to get involved.
Are fortified.
Not unless he really has to leap in and get in there. At the same time, okay, they're pinging it out. And it's rightly so. Why don't we just go in and take Roshan? Like, you've got Chrono available. You can have a Drow Ranger who's going to just blink herself into a better position. Your lanes aren't being forced too hard by LAI Gaming. And you got a Morbid Mask on the Faceless Void. It's not a full Mask of Madness. Well, yeah, it's not a full Mask of Madness. And you got a fresh thing coming in, which is now your Medallion of Courage for FY. Who is currently missing from the pit, but he'll come in and just give them the mask. Treants, they'll scout. Haven't finished the job just yet, but Chrono instantly onto the Brewmaster. They need him dead straight away. Fenrir is sealed up, and Brewmaster still silenced. One more attack. He does go down. The Viper will end up having him tick out before he's even getting a big hit off, and Super a little bit too close. Black just lets rip on those cold arrows. Weaver lucky to escape out there, never using his time lapse, but Roshan belongs to Vici Gaming, Black with the immortality. And now they're going to push towards the tier 1 tower mid with so many heroes down.
Yeah, BKB was finished up by the Weaver, but he didn't have it in time for that team fight. So I think that was part of the reason, but also the fact that LAI Gaming have the last 3 fights that they've lost have been because Vici Gaming have been the initiators. You can't afford to have that happen as a Brewmaster. So they need to just try and jump in. I don't care if you hit the clap, just jump in instantly ultimate. Right? It's unlikely the Drow Ranger will hit you with the silence before you ult. Yeah. If you instantly ult. If you clap and then try and get off your ultimate, yeah, you'll probably be hit by the silence there. But that's also why BKB is necessary for XDD and why he's trying to build into one right now.
The cast time on Gust is really low. I guess really, really low on the Drow Ranger. Like, it's a small turn, like, if even that. Like, just face the right direction. And you just pump it straight off. Now, there's a 3-man smoke coming in for Super. All he wanted was a regeneration rune. Now, Mystic Flare's trying to kill him off. He's still got the Meg Charge available. And he does trigger it, as well as stick charges. Sent up and towards the air, evades 1 extra attack. And Ice considering a jump in. But it was 1 more second until Chrono was off at the time the Viper died. So he didn't actually have the ability just to leap in there, trigger the Chrono, and buy some time for the Viper and the rest of his teammates to come over. But he's realized now in the bottom lane, the push will come. Fortification to hold the tower. He still has this leap into Chrono.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth it for them to try and take this, defend this in any way.
No one was
bottom
really
tower
nearby.
has
The
fallen.
familiars don't really seem to be... Well, where the hell are the familiars?
Farming up the jungle.
Okay. I'm like, I don't see him in a lane anywhere, but that would explain
Vici
it.
FY is beginning to make that transition into, okay, time to farm up my Aghanims. So,
He actually started with a point booster, but got the medallion just so they could do Roshan. And then the medallion actually had almost 0 effect on their Roshan attempt. Because he got it out to him too late. He was on the wrong side of the map. Well, these familiars are going to be ready to fight. Joe Ranger Aura is up to level 4 now, and it's off cooldown. So she can just ping that out if they want to bring down the tier 1 tower pretty quickly. They just need no heroes to be there in a small creep wave. And that tower's life is basically forfeit. Alright, here they come. Dro's holding on to the aura for now. Just moving in, moving back. Familiar drop down. Making that Weaver look behind himself.
it's a rather obnoxious way to take down these tier 1 towers bit by bit, but if FY can pull it off and they don't need the familiars for anything else, because the advantage of this is you always have the familiars in the fight anyway, because you can just resummon them.
Skywrath Mage.
Yeah, don't want to be fighting that necessarily.
There's no drop down. There's no drop down on the couriers, on the familiars. They're trying to fight that one. And now FY is going to have to resummon. But the tier 1 tower on the bottom lane's going to go down, while up on top, the Crypt Swarm's already on the way, going the way to black. He gets hit as well. He's not attacked by anything, attached onto any of the bugs. Vision remains there. So the Wrath of Nature connects, but just a tier 1 for a tier 2 tower ends up being the trade-off.
I would expect that they may wait until, like, they'll obviously go for the middle tier 2, but they'll wait to go uphill until they have a Desolator. And in order to go uphill against this kind of squad, you need to pick off first. Because the Chronosphere is such a good, I mean, just think about trying to go uphill with the Chronosphere pretty much taking up, like, the whole entire entryway into the base. You know, it's so hard to push uphill against that, and then the one hero that is caught, even if not many heroes are caught, it's going to be an important hero like a Brewmaster or a Weaver, and he's just going to get just artillery fired by the Drow Ranger. Like every hit is like a small nuke now from this Drow. So, and the Blink Dagger allows him to instantly get in position to immediately start firing out those arrows. So he doesn't even necessarily have to worry about that so much.
Right now, watching our Vici Gaming slowly chip away at the bottom tower. That Dro Aura has now been triggered, which is the reason why these familiars, even though they've only got 10 base damage, are ditching out so much. 55 a hit. That's for each of the familiars at the rate they're firing. And Ice just wants to kill. He just wants someone just to inch out a little bit too far. And then Fenrir will follow up with the Finger of Death, the stuns, the hexes, as well as drains. Probably another thing we should take into calculation, even if you don't kill the Brewmaster, if you lock him inside of a Chrono, and you have more than like 2 points up in drain, you could technically drain him out of having his ultimate. It would take like a very quick drain, but you could do it.
Brewmaster is going to be going for an Aghanims rather than the BKB.
Ice finally found one. And that's going to be over on the Brewmaster. Finger of Death, follow-up stun. And Lion is the one to actually take the kill from that. Ice having himself some fun now. That's also going to be his Maelstrom if he wants to purchase it. He could have actually purchased that before the fight. So maybe, yeah, he actually goes in for a BKB instead.
Yeah, the Ice Path is one of the most disruptive spells up against melees and is pretty good against Faceless Void specifically. And then he's also got like the Skywrath Mage ultimate as well to be able to deal with. So it's just better, it's much more safer to go for a BKB, particularly when you don't need extra damage. I mean, the Drow Ranger is outputting enough damage right now. Why not just make sure that you live during your Chronosphere?
Man, this DD rune's been sitting here for so long. I'm waiting for Weaver just to run up there and take it while VG Gaming keep walking past it. And I think, yeah, the calls come up from VG. Finally, Fenrir, just get yourself in there and take it, will you?
Yeah, if he farms up this Ancient stack, he's going to be pretty close to his Blink Dagger as well, which is obviously so huge up against the Weaver, who went for a BKB. And as you said, if you get that kind of instant disable,
yep,
they can easily just chain stun down and burst the Weaver real quickly. Oh my god, Skywrath Mage!
What the? Not again.
Yep, that was just familiars. Dropped him from full almost to dead. If they got another round of hits, I think they would have actually killed him.
They still have the Drow Aura.
Yeah.
That's what gave him the bonus damage.
Yep.
For Skywrath. And there's nothing he can do about it. Like, what's he going to do? Throw a Mystic Flare on him?
Yeah, well, he's sitting at 1 armor, so again, he's super susceptible to all that physical damage.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Scared the crap out of me. I didn't even think anyone was near the Skywrath mage.
Yeah.
Maybe he thought the same kind of thing. And then all of a sudden, Familiars. But that's nagging him instead of Familiars. Once FY hits level 11, he'll resummon them. He's only got the basic Familiars at the moment. But the fact you've got a 24-minute Aghanims over on Visage, as well as still having another 800 life, 800 gold.
Swift.
Not too shabby. The same for the Weaver. Weaver with BKB as well as Desolator, 24 minutes in. It's a little bit ahead of the schedule. Normally you see that around like maybe 26, 27.
We don't have any smokes up for the side of LAI Gaming. They desperately need smoke ganks. Like, I think that's their only way to actually have the potential.
Oh, they just walk in like
uphill.
this. Viper, well, Void jumps in, gets the Chrono. Weaver first use of the BKB, and he's going to go down inside his own BKB. Never got the time lapse off Jakiro. It's up and towards the air. That's his own Eul Scepter, so he can get the time for the Ice part. The Brewmaster did get the split off here, but there's still going to be the Jakiro going down. Ice dishing out most of the damage. Leaves him, then tries to TP out. They won't get him in time. And Super still battling up against the Skywrath. He should have right-click him down. Successful at doing so. The Meg Charge, man, this Viper is just so tanky. They'll clamp him up. He needs more damage into Super, and he's not finding it. Which means XTD will finally put down the Viper, being a 3-for-1 trade-off, while Visage and Drow Ranger just seem to be having their own little party in the mid lane. They took out a tier 2 tower, and now forced the mid lane a little bit. Drow's triggered the aura, that's why he wants to keep FY on the front lines. In fact, now XTD's going to be really careful. Those Familiars are going to hurt like hell, especially when Black does this. The silence and then the arrows, they're going to pick up the kill on the Brewmaster, which means the mid push is back on again. The drop down's already by 3 of them. The Drow aura has worn off, so the Familiars aren't as strong as they were before. And they're going to see how many they can pick up. One, just one, there's one. And Roshan's up and living again in 20 seconds time. So the Familiars might just be moved over just to scout for that.
LAI Gaming, I mean, that's the desperation. That's why I was asking for a smoke, is because I don't feel LAI Gaming can actually go for a straight-up fight, because, again, I don't know why, but they seem to pick up these really squishy heroes that are super susceptible to the Faceless Void, despite the fact that Faceless Void is already drafted, and then they pick up the hero. It's not like they got countered by the Faceless Void. They just seem to like to be able to pick up those kind of heroes, and specifically getting countered by the Chronosphere over and over.
Looks like Vici Gaming now will take out the Aegis Immortal. They've already got a BKB over on Drow Ranger, but it seems they're putting every single egg to keep that Drow Ranger alive. So it's all in her basket right now.
It makes sense, especially when she's got the Blink Dagger. Say there's a really bad team fight, and Vici Gaming just lose 2 or 3 heroes, kind of get demolished, and Black is one of them. And as he's reviving, he's going to be surrounded by a lot of heroes from the side of LAI Gaming. If there's no Ice Path, he could just instantly blink himself away. And Jesus, he died fast.
Finger of Death as well as Chrono. Just locked him down there. And there was no joy to be had.
Yeah, I saw Brewmaster, his HP bar at the top of the screen go from full to nothing in a second and a half.
The only thing that flagged it for me was the fact that Chrono was used.
Yeah.
Weaver's trying to push the tier 3 tower, but he cannot push it anywhere near the rate the Black can. He's seeing just the damage output. But they're coming up to defend the top lane, so FY being attacked. The Familiar's doing a lot of damage. Ice will jump out and bring down Super FY. The BKB from the Weaver, trying to ensure the time. He's got time locked! He got time locked in the middle of his BKB with Weaver on the sidelines. They're jumping even deeper into the Radiant base. And that's going to be a double buyback by both Jakiro as well as Nature's Prophet. Black, he has BKB Aegis as well as still having the Mana Style available. Needs a little bit of space, and now he's going to get it. Triggers his BKB so he can battle Super directly. Weaver will come into the engagement too after he bought back. But the Gust, well, that was a little bit late. Super's going to go down no matter what. Blink away by Black. He'll escape out. But they've already managed to bring down 1 Rax. And they defended their own on the top.
Yeah, and having a familiar with a Drow Ranger is kind of like having a Furion, right? At any point in time, it can push down one of your lanes. It becomes one of those ultimate rats to some extent. So having, just like how having 1 lane worth of racks down against a Furion leaves you to use serious disadvantage, more so than many other heroes, the birds do the exact same thing. Like the holding on XDD here, the familiar's just being a little bit obnoxious. Stunning him up repeatedly. Black, though, does have, well, 4K gold as well as the Aegis still to burn through. And you can see he's being ballsy and ballsier with his position. Is he simply just not afraid?
ISIS is going to be so happy about having this already. 29-minute Daedalus. He's able to rush it because he had the BKB, but there's movement coming over from FY2. They want to try and get the combination, and then he also finds a DD rune to boot.
Well then.
This Void's going to hit like hell. While this Observer Prophet might be really sad, he just TP'd out. Because he TP'd in, then just used the TP scroll to get back out again, but he would have missed the kill. If he stayed an extra 5 seconds, he would have got the kill on the courier. ISIS just wants one target to come out. Just one. The Observer Ward's a scout out, 2 on top. Leap. Chrono, he's going to find actually 2 heroes. He got him on the edge. Run up. Whoa. Finish the job, ISIS. And then to XTT. The BKB will trigger the Yule set protecting the Jakiro for now. But ISIS gets another time lock. The BKB is still up. And they're just leap away to safety. The Weaver is on his tail. But they'll have to move very, very quick to catch up to him. Another Shikuchi off cooldown. But 4 seconds until he can leap. He's going to try and use the cliff top and go back down to the river, I'm fairly certain. Oh, nope, to the other side of the tree line instead. And they just called GG.
Look at that. Because the bottom lane is already taken down. That tier 3, like Black, was going to commit to the racks. They couldn't stop it. Like, what can the Skywrath Mage do? Like, if he teleports in, he's instantly dead. So, LAI Gaming get demolished in game 2 as well. Vici Gaming, really good control. I have to say, they're looking like, I mean, we're all kind of wondering whether or not this squad would actually work out with Black and ISIS joining together. But it seems to work out pretty well. They've gotten some practice in. They seem very disciplined in their play. I mean, both Game 1 and Game 2 were very one-sided, kind of starting about like 10 to 15 minutes in. We could all kind of see where this game was going, and Vici Gaming just made sure they held on to control. They had opportunities to end the game faster than they did, but chose to just instead get for the secure win. So, Vici Gaming, I really hope that these are one of the guys that we're going to be seeing here in the finals, because I really want to see them put to the test here in both the Sina Cup as well as the ESL 1 Chinese qualifier.
Well, they'll be playing in the ESL 1 match tomorrow morning at 7 AM. Of course, you'll find that right here on the Join Red live stream. But for the Sina Cup progression, Vici Gaming, and now we'll have a date with HGT. They'll be playing these games over the course of the next few days, because you can always tune in for the action. Be it over on Join Dota Blue or Join Dota Red. It's only on Join Dota Blue as of tomorrow, but we'll be flagging up the Join Dota Red live stream for most of the Sina Cup action in the future. So yeah, just keep your eyes peeled at joindota.com for all the details of who's casting what and where and what competition. For now, we'll have ourselves a break again. We have another 1 hour break until the scheduled starting time of LGDC deck going up against DG. So stay tuned for that one, and we'll see you guys back here live in an hour.